All right, guys. So here, I am back from my South Carolina trip, my more South Carolina trip. Just got back from a tent school, Top Tech Tent School, out there. I just want to do a little video of the basics of what I learned and or what they talked about at least. May do another video more in depth, or a couple more videos more in depth about what they've talked about and how we are going to change things through what we do. But just an overall fairly quick video of the basics. So um, one of the things we're going to change is the way we do our tent tops. Um, we don't use drop cloths right now. We don't use tarps. We basically take our tents out there. We do drag them. We do try to minimize the dragging, but they do get dragged. Just twisted, not really necessarily dragged, but twisted. They fold out. Um, they just don't get taken care of like it should have. That's how we learned it from the employees over here. We've tried to take. I knew and said we need to start taking drop cloths or tarps. They had no drop cloths, but start taking drop tarps out, and so we start taking those out, and those tarps are always wet. They're always dirty. They mildew. They are fairly heavy, depending on the size. Um, then you take them out to the job site. It seems like 10-mile-an-hour winds blow these tarps away. You're always having to chase that tarp down more than your fabric. When you're doing a 40 wide, 40 by 100, 60 wides even, it's hard to bring that many tarps out. It's just a pain to mess with these tarps. They probably make the job go 15, 20 minutes longer than it should, or than it would if you did not use drop cloth. So, but through this class, even without the class, you can see here, I have this fabric here touching the ground from just hanging there. I do have fabric over here on the ground. It is on bags. So we didn't even have bags before not too long ago. So we're going to start getting all of our stuff in bags. But anyway, just sitting there on the ground, being careful with the fabric, I thought was fairly enough. But it's not. I found out it's really not. So here's one of the things they showed, because laying the fabric down, slightly turning it, I didn't think it would do too much damage, and haven't noticed too much damage since I've started being really careful with it. But I do seem to have pinholes through my tents that I don't know how I got there. So very small minimum pinholes, but they are pinholes. You can see them. Anyway, so this is what they show you. Here is just a piece that is actually, this is actually how I tag my tents. Just a little piece of fabric. I put a grommet hole in it, write out what it is, and put a string through it, tie it to the tent. So this is actually that's what that is, tent tag. So this is tent material. So what he did, he folded it. Just took it. This is a flat metal surface, smooth. But anyway, he took it. He rubbed it a couple of times, not pressing down hard, just slightly rubbing it. Brought it up, and not sure if you can see it on camera. Maybe this way. But it's definitely starting to wear, definitely on that. Dirty, plus starting to wear on it. You got some holes through it. So, there it is there. And anyway, that's got, holes through that. And that wasn't hard, that was just lightly smoothing it, rubbing it on there. If that was the weight of even a 20 wide tent, it'd probably have a line of actually pretty much a tear through there, just from that little bit right there. So yes, we're going to start using drop cloths. We're looking for drop cloths right now, looking for the companies to buy them from. Advantage Tent Company is what the tent guy recommends. Just found out that. And so we're checking there, checking prices there. We'll check prices at other places, but that's definitely what he recommends. So anyway, that's one of the main deals is your tent tops. Take care of them. always use drop cloths. So we will try that again. And actually, the way we're folding them now, which I may go over later on, you don't need as many tarps than what you should than what we thought in the beginning. So anyway, taking care of your fabric. That's one of the main deals they talked about. They talked about safety, which is, however you want to see it. But, they wear hard hats, they wear gloves and eye protection anywhere around poles. I guess that's preference with company. I don't really see that being a big deal yet. I mean, I have had people get hit in the head with poles before. But for the most part, they're not paying attention. It's their fault. Or they're playing around. Something happened like that. Nothing work related as far as just something happening and coming loose, hit them in the head. So we will not be, enforcing hard hats or nothing like that. But anyway, it is a good idea for if you're, getting bigger, I guess. It is a good idea around poles and the keter parts maybe. But anyway, that's one of the things to talk about there. The other thing was when they talk about frame tents, pole tents, keter tents, safety. They talk about the fire extinguishers, fire safety, all these things. So, but the other thing, this is something we probably will change also, along with the fabric. We'll probably change this. So when we set up a pole tent, we normally lay it out, we lace it up, however long it goes. Then we just take our feet, and we actually just walk from the corner and walk 5 feet out, straight line. And then we walk 5 feet out, we stake it. Your other side of the corner, 90 degrees, straight out. We do stake that one down. Then we walk to the opposite side of the tent. We tug on it. We get it straight. We do the same thing. Stake it down. Stake your third corner down. Stake your fourth corner down. And then after that, we run a string line around one stake. We take it down to the stake, run a string line. Then we put all of our stakes in. And that's how we square our tent currently. That's how we learned to do it. And that's how we've been doing it since. When you get up to really even the 40 wides, 40 by 100s, they take 3 or 4 guys to pull that line and get it straight. It's also an eyeball looking for it. It's just you looking down that line, you getting it straight by eyeball. And how they were talking as far as you have a drunk employee, you drank the night before, something like that, and then you're coming out here and trying to sight that line down for a 100 feet long tent. You're trying to sight it down and get it straight as you can see it. So it doesn't always work out. And then with the elevation dips and stuff, it's also harder to see sometimes. It does work. It does get the job done. And we can put up some pretty straight tents that way. But as far as also that going along with protecting your fabric, if you're doing it that way, that's your fabric is the first thing that gets put on the ground. And then in this instance, it will stay on the ground until the job is done. It will stay on the ground until it's put in the air. So it will be on the ground, the duration of your whole job. With stakes being carried around the tent, with straps, poles, sledgehammers, people walking, everything's going on around, your most important investment, being there on the ground. So anyway, I'll get more into that later. But anyway, as far as squaring, I know I've always heard and read and seen videos about using tape measures. Never really figured out how to do that. Not great at math. Never wanted to learn the a squared plus b squared equals a c squared across your tent. Never wanted to learn it. Also, I thought it would be take a lot longer than what we currently are putting up tents. But anyway, I found that it probably will not be. It probably will actually be faster if we did it this way. Um, and it will protect the fabric more. The fabric will only be on the ground. It will come out, you lay it down. As soon as you get laid down and laced, you put it up. Your stakes are already in the ground. So anyway, we're gonna give that a try and get that get that working. They did give a cheat diagram here of how to square that tent. Not really how to square it, but you look at your graph here. It's gonna be hard to see, but I may try to take a picture of this and post it. But anyway, you look at the length of your tent, then you look up here at your width of your tent, and you do your stake line off that. So the length and the width. So you length down here, width up top. Then you look over here at the numbers, and that will give you what the C is. So there's your diagram. If you get length, width, look at the diagram, it will tell you what C is, the cross right there. So a cheat diagram for that. There actually is also an app for your smartphone that gives the same cheat diagram. So no math, no thinking. You mark your length, your width on the ground. You get that C line, and then that tells you what your fourth corner is going to be. Gives it exactly straight every time. No math involved. No standing there thinking about it. You basically get out to you know in your head before you get to the job site by either cheat diagram or from your phone. You get out there, you put that tent up, or you put your stakes out, then you put it up in the air. So in this instance, you can put it up in a little bit stronger winds because you're not bothered by the fabric being on the ground the whole time. Also with pole tents, if you have the fabric on the ground for 15-20 minutes even, while you are trying to lacing it, putting stakes in the ground, all this, and say there's light drizzle, some rain going on, you're basically making a swimming pool there that gets very difficult to push that pole up once you're ready to, if you have a whole lot of water on the ground. So we had that happen with the 60 wide before, and very difficult to push up. Almost didn't get it done. Have to go mop up water off the tent before we can get it done. Anyway, so that's another thing we'll be changing, or definitely looking at changing, testing it out. I can go over that more once I can get out to a tent job site and kind of show how that's done. So anyway, those two things were very good. Probably something we're going to change. They talked a lot about keyer tents, a lot about frame tents, different ways they do them, and basic stuff we already know, but it was nice to hear, nice to see other owners and other workers asking them questions instead of just what the school is teaching, but seeing how other businesses is actually doing it in a real live situation. So the community was good with that. Also, a lot of learning from the community, even more than the school. There also was a contest, stake hitting contest, and a rope tying contest that we did up there also. Anyway, great school. I think if I were to say, I'd say 3 to 4 years in the business is a great point to go to it. 3 or 4 years of putting tents up your way, or tents how you have learned through your resources. But enough time to be in the business and knowing how jobs go, knowing how weather is, knowing how just knowing how situations happen is all good. I think to know before you go to the school. I don't think it's something you need to go to before you even start a business. If you're looking to start a business, it's not something you need to go then. If you're doing that, it's probably too much to learn all at one point. So 2 or 3 years in the business, knowing your tents, knowing what you have, knowing where you want to go, is a great time to go to that school. I would say you would learn something if you're in the business longer than that. You would still learn something or take away something. Maybe not as much from the school, but again, just from the community and the way other bigger companies even are doing it. So anyway, that's what I think with that. I know those guys going to that class that's been there 3 or 4 times already, and they just keep going just to interact with the community and the tent business people, and then they are also just going just to enjoy their time, enjoying a vacation that is also related to their work. How a lot of us we get tied up in our work, and that's just kind of our hobby, because we work so much, especially in rental business here. And so, when they go as a work trip vacation, and that's what they enjoy, and they enjoy teaching other people also on the job or at that school. Anyway, it was great. I had pictures up. I'll post some more pictures. I'll probably post a couple with this video. But I'll also post a couple more videos more in depth about the drop cloth situation possibly, and also possibly the tent squaring diagram there. So anyway, that's my quick thoughts on the tent school and when you should go, or if you do want to go. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to happen. It never has to happen. But you can grow it without the tent school. But it was some great insights. So anyway, that's what I think. So thanks for watching, and keep growing your business.